Blessings and welcome to Eartheart Radio. Finally beginning to awaken from the illusion of separateness and broadcasting live from the KSKQ studios in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. Here's your host, Shankara Das.
Good afternoon. Wow, having a really strange effect in my headphones today. Chick, chick, chick. Okay, I guess I can be heard. Good afternoon, my friends. Just getting used to our brand new home here in lovely Ashland, Oregon. And of course, that means getting used to a brand new setup of equipment. And that's okay. Welcome to the Eartheart Radio Show, my friends. Sunday afternoon, and life is fleeting, and the river of impermanence runs deep. And we were saddened last Monday, the 2nd of March, to have lost another family and friend. It's kind of hard to talk about, it's so new. Our brother from the same cosmic mother, Poe Varnado, has departed this material world. The show is dedicated to him. You'll hear his spoken word poetry today and more. So we ask you to please relax, and for the next 1 hour, you'll hear harmonious music. Of course, you'll hear positive news, and we'll spotlight yet another saint today. As a matter of fact, we means more than just me. And I'm happy that Sister Tracy is here today to co-host today's Eartheart Radio Show. Hello, Sister Tracy.
Greetings.
You made it in.
I made it.
Thanks.
Yes, I was up super late or super early, depending on how you look at it, but I made it.
You did, and I appreciate that, because we are here to honor our friend and beloved family member, Poe, and we spent yesterday with a lot of his family and friends, taking care of business, getting his affairs in order, moving stuff out of his place. But he was a very popular guy here in the Rogue Valley, Poe. He had a lot of friends, brought a lot of good vibes, and was the host of the Rogue Poetry Slam for a long time. And when we met him years ago, that's kind of what his gig was.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the copy of the Ashland Daily Tidings from April 15th of 2013. And he had started doing the slam at Northwest Pizza and Pasta.
That's right.
Yeah, back in March of 2013. So time flies, doesn't it? Gosh.
It really does. And I had forgotten that it was at Northwest Pizza. Boy, my memory.
In 2013, I mean, if someone would have asked me how many years, I would have guessed 3 or 4, but no, more like 7 or 8. And that's the way things go when you get older. Time flies faster. My daughter says that's not true, but I insist that it is.
Right. Well, we are here to celebrate the memory of our good friend Poe, who his name was Tom. And his name was Tom. He was a airborne paratrooper. You know a lot more about his military history, I think.
Not a lot. I do know that he was part of the 82nd Airborne, 173rd Airborne Brigade, Vietnam veteran. And yes, that he served his country proudly. I do know that about him.
Well, he also made a heck of a lot of friends here, not only in Southern Oregon, but all over the world. We have had him on the radio shows that we host, the Church of Rock on Sunday nights, a few times, and he was able to start branching out. And I know people in the Midwest that own his album. He's got a great CD that was released. It's a full-length album on CD called Simply M. A Sayer. And it's really good. I mean, really good. It's got 24 tracks. It was actually produced by Aaron Reed from the Brothers Reed. There are guest appearances from Jack Fisher and other people. It's just a really amazing listen. And during the show today, if you're interested in a copy of Poe's CD, I'd be glad to send you a free copy in the mail. You just simply give us a call during this show at 541-482-3999, or you can hit us up on the many platforms on Facebook under the Eartheart Radio Show, or if you know me personally, you can find Sister Tracy. Just reach out and we'll make sure you get a copy of his album.
Yeah, and if you you could also even go to the Church of Rock page on Facebook even, because I will be on there this evening quite a bit. We do that on Sunday nights, so you can go there and ask for a copy as well.
Well, I tell you what, Sister Tracy, how would you like to roll into the first track by Brother Poe from his beloved album? And it's a great track, track 24 from the CD. It's called Soul Brothers. Are you ready?
I think so.
All right. You're listening to KSKQ and the Eartheart Radio Show. I'm Derek Moody with Sister Tracy. Thanks for being here.
Situation. He was
My friends, I'm going to have to start the track over because I made a mistake. I apologize. And it just didn't have the CD player the way it should have been, and I just have to make sure it's loud enough. I'm sorry. It's T-Poe.
I could see it in his eyes. I heard him say it with his eyes as clearly as if he had spoken the words out loud. But that was impossible, given the noise from the rotors and the disorder of the situation. He was leaning far out and down from the chopper door, secured to the bird only by the hand of his comrade, tightly clinched to the back of his belt in jungle fatigues. He was reaching, just a little further. I was chest deep in a swamp with 6 good men, one of us rapidly dying as we tried with our last bit of endurance to hold him over our heads long enough for the man with the talking eyes to wrestle him into the chopper. I wasn't sure we could do this. We were in the only clearing for 2 clicks in any direction. The chopper skids could not rest on the water surface, nor go below it. I wondered if this mission turned dust-off attempt was destined to fail. And then I looked into the eyes of the man leaning from the bird. As his hand latched onto my friend's fatigues at the belt line, his eyes surveyed the scene. As his eyes scanned across mine, we locked on momentarily, like a laser. Through his eyes, I saw his soul. I believe he saw mine. It all happened in a second or so. I heard his soul say through his eyes to me, "Bro, I can only imagine what you guys have been through today. I wish I could do more, stay and help, you know, bro? But know this, my soul brother, your friend is in good hands. Bless you, my bros, and good luck." With that, he lifted my brother into the bird with one arm and all of his heart and soul, and then they were gone. Over the years, I have wondered if he had read my eyes the way I read his. If he did, I hope he heard me say, "Thank God for your kind, my brother. I know you look into men's tortured souls daily. Yes, it is hell down here right now, but I have the privilege to know the humor, hear the dreams, share the joys and the disappointments of these great brothers in arms. Never have I felt so alive. It's strange, you know, bro? Do you feel it too? Bless you, my hero brother, and Godspeed."
You are at the Eartheart Radio Show. I'm Derek Moody with Sister Tracy, and that was Poe Varnado with a track from his album Simply Am a Sayer. And now we are pleased to introduce a guest that we would love to talk with on the air for a few minutes. She actually produced a short film, not only about, but starring Poe, based on one of his poems. And let's try to see if this will work. Are you there, Mandy, by chance?
I'm here.
Okay, it does work. My friends, we are going to introduce a friend of the show. Her name is Mandy, and she, in the past, was known as Mandy Valencia, but she is no longer married, and now it's Mandy Yapal, correct?
The name is correct, but the opposite. I was unmarried, and now I'm married.
My bad. I'm just a little nervous today.
No worries.
It's better that way, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was really intrigued because we looked online the other day and found this beautiful short film called What We Were Gonna Do, which was a Poe poem, and then you made a film out of that. So how did that come about?
It happened because I was friends with Poe. I was a big fan of his work. I was a reporter here in Ashland for about 6 or 7 years. And so I covered art and music in Ashland when I was working for the Daily Tidings and the Mail Tribune. And so I think I probably wrote a few stories about T-Poe. And then, of course, we became friends, and we were Facebook friends. And I think one day he was sharing some of his photographs from Vietnam that he took, and they're actually really great. I don't know if many people know, but actually T-Poe had a really great talent with photography and an interest, and he had many great photos. And the ones from Vietnam are just they're very memorable. And so in seeing his photos and knowing about his poetry, I was going to school at SOU and studying film production, and I wanted to do a little piece combining those two using his work. So really, he did all the heavy lifting. It's his words, it's his poem, and his photography. And he just granted me the permission to record him saying his poem, and I use his photographs as an illustration of the poem. And so I basically just kind of illustrated the poem using his photographs to tell the story that he was telling in his spoken word.
Well, and then something even greater or even better came out of that, right? Didn't you end up showing that at the Ashland Independent Film Festival?
Right. So this video project that I used, I ended up using it as my senior project, which is basically when you're a film student or a video production student, this is like your thesis. But when you're a video student, you actually get to just make a film. You don't have to write a big long piece.
Right.
So that's what I used for that, and I got a really good grade on it. And then I was working with the film festival as a volunteer, and just decided to submit the piece for their student launch competition. And it's at different age levels, and mine was for the college level, of course. And really didn't expect much of it, but we ended up, it got accepted into the film festival as part of the locals showings for the student launch, and it actually won the college level category.
That's so great.
It played at the festival. It played down at the varsity, actually, and T-Poe and I got to be there and see it on the big screen, and it was a really momentous occasion.
Aw, that would have been so fun.
Yeah. And when you're in the film festival too, even if you're just a local with a little short student film like I had, they still treat you like you're Quentin Tarantino. So
awesome.
So we were like celebrities. We got to rub shoulders with all the other major accomplished professional filmmakers there, and I mean T-Poe and I were just on cloud nine the whole time. We had so much fun.
I bet he just had a blast.
Yes.
That is so cool. Yeah, Sister Tracy played your film for me, and I thought, we've got to call Mandy and invite her on the show just because we're talking about this great guy today and playing a lot of his poetry. So, thanks for making the time. I know it was a very short amount of time to accept the invite, so we appreciate that.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity. And, like I told you before, I miss T-Poe. This has been hard.
It's been hard for the community, I think.
Of course.
It sure has.
He was really sick and all, but now just reviewing the video now that he's gone, I'm so glad I did it, and I'm so glad it's kind of there for time immemorial, and then I have a living piece of him in the digital world that I can reference anytime. So, and I appreciate you playing it and letting me talk about it, because it really helps with the healing and the grieving process to be able to share with folks like you that love him and miss him and are grieving him too. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that opportunity.
When did you make that? Was that 2013 you said?
Yeah, and then I think we were in the 2014 film festival.
Awesome. Well, yeah. With your kind permission, we would like to actually go ahead and play that on the show today. People can't see the video part, but it's certainly monumental as far as the audio goes. So if that's okay with you, I think we will kindly play that.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I really appreciate that, and it was pretty nice that you were able to come on the show in such short notice.
And we will stay in touch, Mandy. I'm sure there will be.
Oh, please do.
Yes, well, there will be, a celebration of life, I'm sure, here in the near future, and it'd be great if you could maybe come show the film. I think people would really enjoy that. So,
Thank you. It would be my honor.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Mandy, thanks so much for making the time, and we will certainly be in touch sooner than later.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, have a great Sunday, my friend.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mandy Yapal, my friends. Yes, she made the time to come on our show tonight, and that was kind of her. And now, Sister Tracy, I'm going to go ahead and get this queued up. I've had it ready to go. I think it's one of those days, but it's okay. It's just radio, and as we say, it's not brain surgery. Thank goodness, right?
Yeah, and when I watched the film for the first time, I mean, as she said, it's a short film, the length of maybe, a long poem. But it's really good, and I encourage. I think is it on? It's on.
Let's go ahead. Yeah, it's on. I think you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and play it right now, if that's okay. It's called "What We Were Gonna Do," and it's the great Poe Varnado right here on the Eartheart Radio Show, and of course KSKQ Radio.
This is what we were gonna do. We would build a raft, we said, from logs we cut ourselves, and we'd track the Mississippi's bed from the Missouri to the mouth. Yeah, we were going to build a raft, and we would float the Mississippi, and we would drink and smoke and laugh as we traveled the old muddy. Brother, when this hell is over and we get back to the world, we said, for a while, we'd just lay in clover. Then we'd follow where the river led. There was me and Harley, Danny and Cherry Ball. Cherry Ball was actually David Ball from Eugene, Oregon, one of the few homeboys I had over there. We called him Cherry because as a paratrooper, until you'd made that final combat parachute assault, you were considered Cherry, hence Cherry Ball, straight out of jump school. Danny was from Lake George, New York. Harley from everywhere and nowhere. But we would talk. And as we sat and watched the sky blaze red over the South China Sea at dusk, we would talk. We talked about how we would all stay in touch, and once the last of us got back to the real world, we would meet up in St. Louis. We would canoe out to a nearby island in the Muddy, where we would camp for several days while we constructed a most sturdy raft. Upon completion, we would stock provisions and launch. We'd float the Mississippi to New Orleans, beaching only to gather more provisions. This was the plan, and none of us even questioned if it would happen. And no one would tell us we couldn't. No man would ever again tell us we must get a haircut. No man, none, would ever again tell us we must do anything we are not already inclined to do. Yeah, we would talk. All night sometimes. The uppers helped. Kept us alert, Sometimes it's good to be just a little bit paranoid on guard duty. Come morning, it's, have a good day, brother. We'll talk later, and be careful. Then we'd all go off to our own hooch or hammock to catch a few winks before we had to move out. Then one day, Harley got orders for Thailand. I always figured they wanted him to train Rangers to kill effectively with hand weapons, but I never heard from him again. A few weeks later, I was in the back of a 3/4-ton truck driven by Cherry Ball, when from the rice paddy to the right of us, 2 AK-47s opened up, fired from the hip, one by a woman, and they sent a noisy stream of tracer rounds out in front of the vehicle and slowly walked them into us. We all ducked as the rounds struck the vehicle. I was stunned, but unhurt. David Cherry Ball was struck in the head and the shoulder. This hell of a man refused to relinquish his position as driver and drove himself to the nearest med station at Landing Zone English, 15 clicks away. I never called him Cherry again. Danny left country a month or so before me, and once I left, although on a few occasions I attempted to contact the guys, I never heard from any of them ever again. I guess in a way, the real world turned out to be just another battlefield on which we each had to fight alone. But I'm confident that those of us still living remember when we would build a raft, we said, from logs we cut ourselves. And we'd track the Mississippi's bed from the Missouri to the mouth. Yeah, we were going to build a raft. And we would float the Mississippi. And we would drink and smoke and laugh as we traveled the old muddy. Brother, when this hell is over and we get back to the world, we said, for a while, we'll just lay in clover. Then we'd follow where the river led.
Community, love, truth, nature, spirit. Eartheart Radio on KSKQ.
Last night, I stayed with someone who has loved me long and loved me true. Something selfish deep inside steals the love she cannot hide, and it makes of both of us the fool. It breaks her heart, and it breaks my rule, but for the moment satisfies my longing and her saddened eyes. So we discuss which alibis we'll use to camouflage our lies. We'll talk of how and where and when we can rendezvous again. And she'll pretend that she's my wife, and I'll pretend I'm living life, being loved by only you. Last night I stayed with someone new, a longtime friend, you understand. She held me close as I've held you, a sort of friendly one-night stand. It felt so right to be with her. We talked of many things, southern ports and winter sports, and she strummed the guitar strings. We felt so very comfortable as together we lay there. My shoulder was her pillow, softness was her hair. Last night, my ears heard different sounds. My eyes saw different sight. My heart, it felt a distant tug. We dozed off in the night. Then suddenly I leapt awake, and for a moment had to wonder, where was I, for heaven's sake, and whose spell was I under? For I know the fragrance of your hair, the feel of your skin. It was not you beside me there. I dozed off once again. Last night, I touched another heart. It was that of a friend. Funny how one thing will start and something else will end.
At Eartheart Radio, our religion is love. Tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. on KSKQ.
Someone has found a tender spot I thought I hid so well. Behind the hardness life has wrought, secured within this bunkered cell. Buried deep, so as to keep all prying souls at bay, I mound it steep, that none may reap this bounty neath the clay. And yet, someone has found it out, this place of tender purpose. And now, a flood from out the drought has washed it to the surface, exposed it to the glaring light of day from out the solitude. Must I return it to the night, this tender place so long subdued? Or might I let it sing, at last, the sweetest song of its desire, to chance the tears behind this mask will drown this newly kindled fire? There is no less lightheartedness behind these wrinkled eyes, as there is the hardness, dressed to serve the bold disguise. I'm torn, but in my hand the spade I used to hide this tender spot. Be I afraid or just dismayed, I'll bury it without a thought, 'cause it hurts to have a tender side. Be it wise or be it not, I guess I'd better soon decide if I should hide this tender spot, for someone now has found it out, this place of tender purpose, and now a flood from out the drought has washed it to the surface.
You are listening to the KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show. Thank you. That was our good friend and poet, Poe Varnado. And I was wondering a minute ago if I was pronouncing it wrong. Is it Poe Varnado? I don't think so. I think it's Varnado. Correct, Tracy? Is that?
That's how I've always heard it pronounced. And it's crazy because, you wonder like how a nickname takes over someone, and
yeah.
I have a dear friend, like probably my, well, not probably, but my best friend in the world. And I don't think anyone calls him by his first name. I've never heard anyone say his first name in 30-some years. So, Poe, that's who he was. That's who everyone knew him as.
Right. I gotcha. Well, my friends, we will be spotlighting a saint shortly. We've got some positive news on the way. We'll hear more poetry from Brother Poe, but right now, some love for the underwriters.
Underwriting support for KSKQ comes from Medford Food Co-op. Medford Food Co-op nurtures a vibrant, healthy community and abundant local food system with organic produce, sustainable meats, gourmet cheeses, and a wide selection of gluten-free, vegan, and vegetarian options. The cafe offers fresh meal solutions for busy schedules, including house-made hot soups, custom sandwiches, creative salad, and a variety of hot entrees. Medford Food Co-op and the cafe are open daily 7 to 9 at 945 South Riverside, just north of Barnett, or online at medfordfood.coop.
Thank you very much, Sister Tracy. I would like to play some music, again, in honor of Brother Poe. I was listening to some music from the great Mavis Staples last night, and I found a great song that I would like to share with everyone, if that's okay. From the new album, We Get By. It is Mavis Staples with a cool tune called Stronger, dedicated to our brother Poe Varnado right here, the Eartheart Radio Show and KSKQ.
revolutionaries, and advocates of love. Today we honor and show love, respect, and gratitude.
You are listening to KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. Every week we like to pay tribute to a very high-frequency soul temporarily residing in a human body, and today is no exception. Today we are paying tribute to the patron saint of poets. That's right. Going way back, my friends, to the year of 521. Born December 7th in the year 521, Columba was an Irish abbot and missionary evangelist credited with spreading Christianity in what is today Scotland at the start of the Hiberno-Scottish mission. He's known as the patron saint of poetry. He founded the important Abbey on Iona, which became a dominant religious and political institution in the region for centuries. He's also the patron saint of Derry, which is the second largest city in Northern Ireland. He was highly regarded, is remembered today as a Catholic saint and one of the 12 apostles of Ireland. Columba studied under some of Ireland's most prominent church figures and founded several monasteries in the country. Around the year 563, he and 12 companions settled in Scotland. He was very active in Irish politics, however, even though he did spend most of the remainder of his life residing in Scotland. 3 surviving early medieval Latin hymns may be attributed to him. Columba was one of 12 students of Saint Finian, who became known as the 12 Apostles of Ireland. He became a monk and eventually was ordained a priest. He was a renowned man of letters, having written several hymns and being credited with having transcribed 300 books. Throughout the United States, there are numerous parishes within the Catholic and the Episcopalian denominations dedicated to Columba. There's even an Orthodox church monastery dedicated to the saint in the Massachusetts town of Southbridge. Columba is the patron saint of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Youngstown, Ohio. And also, he played a major role in the politics of the country of Ireland. He founded several churches as a missionary, and Columba died in the year 597, and he was buried by his monks in the abbey that he created.
You know, I knew there was a patron saint of poets.
And you know, when T-Poe...
I had no idea what the name was.
Well, when
so
T-Poe
cool.
Passed away, I immediately thought, I'm going to do a tribute show to him, and I wonder if there's any saints out there that are known for poetry, and
of course.
It just took me a quick Google, and boom, Columba popped up.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was in the same boat you were. I thought there has to be, yeah. And so there's actually a couple of hymns that are very popular that are attributed to him that I was going to speak about, but, you know, we only have so much room, you know. But I would like to do some more music. How's that sound?
It sounds good.
I'm trying to find that chord.
I actually thought that, I don't know, this is a cool song and pretty appropriate for your show.
Yeah, you actually came up with this idea.
Yeah, I did. I love Steely Dan. I'm a huge Steely Dan fan, and we were fortunate enough to catch them on, I didn't even know, a few years back on one of their tours, not all that long ago.
Up in Bend. We went to Bend to see Steely Dan, right?
Yeah, I was outdoors, and man, you know, Steely Dan music outside underneath a beautiful Oregon sky, just wow, just one of those kind of experiences that you remember.
Yeah,
So,
that was a lot of fun. And what Steely Dan song have you picked for us today?
well, I picked Bodhisattva.
Haha, I should have known.
You should have known.
You're at the Eartheart Radio Show with Steely Dan at KSKQ.
Namaste from Eartheart Radio and KSKQ.
I simply gotta tell you, I'm a pretty simple fella. I'm not as sharp as Fredo, and I'll never be the Don. I will never win the big prize, shining in your bright and youthful eyes. I've learned to live outside of love and simply carry on. Carry on is what I do. And after all that I've been through, it seems like carry on is what my life was meant to be. So I never stop to look around, afraid I'll see what I have found is something good and something real. And this was never meant for me. So I blindly stumble, swiftly run, losing when I could have won. There will be no victory dance, and there will be no sun to seek a prize which I can win, to lose this person I have been. It seems the time has come again for me to simply carry on.
Air, trees, water, animals. Eartheart Radio on KSKQ.
I could have stolen you that day, up into the mountains to my little hideaway. I could have kept you warm there. On cold nights I'd build the fire, take away your every care, satisfy desire. Never would I leave you lonely, feel your every sigh. Tears upon your cheeks are only tears of joy you cry. Watch the sunrise every morn. In cedar groves we'd stand, in wonder of the elegance painted across the land. I'd build for you a home so grand, from Douglas fir and alder, and like our love, the foundation of which would never falter. And in our middle years of life, our love would seem surreal. And if then you would be my wife, our love we'd bond and seal, and there could be a family, you, wife and mother too. And on my fantasies about my life with you, had I stolen you that day, up into the mountains to my little hideaway.
You're listening to KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show, the great Poe Varnado from his album Simply Emma Sayer. A track there entitled, if I can find my notes, which are usually pretty hard to do, called Could Have Stolen You. Before that, you heard Poe with a track called Simply Carry On. And, of course, Sister Tracy played Steely Dan, Bodhisattva, a great song indeed. We do have positive news on the way, my friends, and even some more music, possibly, if that's something you're into. KSKQ does recognize the nonprofit community support of the Klamath-Siskiyou Wildland Center. As a voice for wild nature, KS Wild's mission is focused on protecting public lands in the Klamath-Siskiyou region of Southwest Oregon and Northwest California. Community support for KS Wild helps ensure a legacy of wild rivers, ancient forests, and biodiversity. Learn more about KS Wild's wildlife and forest conservation programs and efforts to restore public lands at www.kswild.org. KSKQ thanks KS Wild and listeners like you for supporting community radio, and you can support community radio further by attending our upcoming benefit for KSKQ, which is happening Saturday, April the 18th at the Black Sheep Pub and Restaurant in downtown Ashland. It is an all-acoustic music benefit, again, April the 18th at the Black Sheep, featuring Death Plant, the music of Frank Ellis, Gene Burnett, Shibo Torres. We also have our headlining act that night will be Living Loving Led, which is a Led Zeppelin tribute act. And there's even more acts than that, my friends. That's right, Gene Burnett's going to be there. It'll be 9 p.m. to midnight, April the 18th, with all proceeds benefiting your favorite radio station, KSKQ.
Please let go of your fear. Positive news is here. Things aren't as bad as it seems, no matter what they say. News with an agenda is meant to instill fear. True news can instill hope.
All right, Sister Tracy, would you like to join me for some positive news?
Man, I can't get enough positive news. Are you kidding me?
No kidding, right?
Hit me with it.
Hit me with your best shot. Okay, positive news story number one. Last week we did a tribute to Baba Bhagavan Das, who was injured in Maui. And this is sort of an update on the Baba Bhagavan Das health predicament. Yeah.
Yes.
Bhagavan Das, of course, moved to rehab in Oahu. So he's now in physical rehab. He has a private room with his partner, Amulyama. He's in a lot of pain, but he is making gradual progress every day. He's been learning to slow down and to feel his body and his heart more. So this forced stop is a continuation of that deepening. He has rainbows outside his room. Hawaii is paradise. He has a makeshift altar atop of his TV screen in his rehab room. He has a full itinerary of therapies happening. His doctors, physical therapists, nurses, and occupational therapists are helping him, and his intended discharge date is coming up on March the 11th. Then, of course, more therapies, appointments, and healing protocols will continue for months. But he's getting better. And Bhagavan Das is accepting donations on PayPal at bhagavandasAmulyama@gmail.com. Be here now. Om Namah Shivaya. And we pray for the continued healing of Bhagavan Das. Positive news story number two. The world's first disposable diaper company that collects the dirty ones for composting. That's right. For environmentally conscious parents, instead of throwing thousands of disposable diapers into the landfill every year where they will take 500 years to biodegrade, a new company is helping to clear your green conscience. That's right. Just ship off the baby's dirty diapers in a box and then wash your hands of the whole situation. The first step basically is switching to biodegradable diapers that are sold by a company called Diaper, which is DYPER. They even ship them to your house. The diapers are made without any chemical agents, ensuring minimal environmental damage, more natural ingredients, and quickest composting time. They are bamboo-based. Because 3.5 million tons of diapers are tossed into the trash every year, any diaper recycling program is sorely needed.
It's a huge, huge issue in landfills. I mean, it's, people are like, are you talking about diapers on the radio? Yes, we're talking about diapers on the radio because they are a huge issue. Back in the day, in our grandparents' day and before that, people used cloth diapers.
They did, yeah.
They washed them, they hung them up to dry, they reused them. And unfortunately, we have become a throwaway society. We throw away everything. We don't make products to last, so we have to throw them out within a year and buy it again. That's on purpose. We know that. We also live in a throwaway society when it comes to human beings. And in staying in the positive frame of mind, that's not how we're supposed to be. That's one of the reasons that a lot of people are sad or unhappy. We don't throw people away, and we try to do the same thing with the things that we own and the things we buy. We try to buy locally. We help those out in the community. We try to recycle. We buy products that are environmentally friendly, and we try to do our job. If we all do our job in doing little things like that, like the company that's, helping to recycle and make and compost the diapers, or using cloth diapers, it makes a big difference. Every little thing you do.
Yep, I was going to say every effort helps.
What is it? The saying about, you toss a pebble into a lake and watch the ripple effect. And that's what happens,
Yeah.
And if someone sees you doing something like that, it gives them hope. It gives them it empowers them. It gives them hope, and it makes them act as well. So yeah, there are lots of ways you can help do that, but the diaper story turned into something else completely different. But it's all about not being a throwaway society, and that means when it comes to human beings or when it comes to the products that you buy.
Amen.
Yes.
Positive news story number 3. As millions of dollars are raised for Nashville tornado victims, Gibson Guitar is donating guitars to affected musicians.
So awesome.
Yeah, since Nashville is notorious for being one of the most beloved music capitals of the United States, Gibson Guitars is providing a special kind of relief for musicians who may have lost their instruments during this week's series of devastating tornadoes. Gibson Gives is the name of the guitar company's charitable foundation. They're offering to replace any guitar that may have been lost or damaged during the storms. The foundation has donated more than $30 million worth of goods and services since their launch in 2002. And in addition to installing music rooms in Nashville high schools, they've also donated guitars and supplies to music therapy programs for veterans suffering from PTSD. So we have to applaud Gibson Guitars.
Very nice. I read about that story, and I know that a lot of musicians lost their equipment in those tornadoes, and it's just awesome that Gibson has stepped up.
Exactly. Here's one more, Sister Tracy. The last positive news story of the day. This veterinarian wanders the California coast treating homeless people's pets for free. Dr. Quayne Stewart has been a veterinarian in California for 20 years. But for the past few years, he's been passionately motivated to impact the lives of homeless pets and their owners. 9 years ago, Stewart spent an afternoon offering medical care to the pets of people experiencing homelessness in Modesto, California. During that experience, he learned that these animals provided more than companionship to their owners. They offered love, hope, and security. He said, quote, "When you give back, there's something you get in return that feels much larger. I knew I wanted to keep doing it. Paying for vaccines and medications out of pocket can get expensive. So he launched a GoFundMe to raise money for his mission. I don't ever want to turn anyone away," he said, and he's helped heal more than 400 pets so far. He hopes his mission will inspire other veterinarians to volunteer their time and expertise to help those in need.
Yay.
How cool.
I do want to remind you that today is International Women's Day, and the entire month of March is also Women's History Month.
Beautiful.
And it was on this day, it was on this day that Susan B. Anthony testified before the U.S. House Judiciary Committee, arguing for a constitutional amendment granting women the right to vote. So lift up your fellow females around you. Lift up the women in your life.
Amen.
Empower them.
Yes.
They are the nurturers. They are the bringers of life. Yes, lift up the women in your life, and do that all month long. Do it all year long, because that's what we do. That's the way it should be all the time.
Thank you.
Happy International Women's Day.
How about a last song, Sister Tracy? I'll dedicate this to you. It's by a group called Rodelius. The song is called Poetry, right here at the Eartheart Radio Show in KSKQ.
Thank you.
are listening to KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show. I'm Derek Moody with Sister Tracy. Please join us tonight at 7 p.m. for the Church of Rock Radio Show. That'll be a lot of fun. We've got artist Raymond Pettibon tonight. Sister Tracy, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm sorry that my voice is a little, like I said, I stay up pretty late or early, how you're looking at it, so my voice usually doesn't come into its own until about Church of Rock time.
Well, thanks for being here. I really appreciate having you here.
Yes, and it was great talking about our brother and our dear friend T-Poe.
Long live T-Poe.
And as I said, there will be a celebration of life. I know there are going to be probably slams and all kinds of things in his honor taking place, but...
And we'll keep people posted.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of people involved, and we'll keep everyone posted about that.
Have a great afternoon and blessings, my friends, and we'll catch you next Sunday at Eartheart Radio Show at KSKQ.
You've been listening to Eartheart Radio with your host, Shankara Das. Eartheart Radio is produced by Shankara Das in association with Sister Tracy and Krishna Consciousness. Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for more Eartheart Radio.